71 of the 3 Count Out podcast. We have a lot to talk about this week because we are coming to you hot off the heels of a mediocre Backlash. Well, mediocre kind of, but there were some important things that happened. And hey, real quick, I know we usually do this at the end, but we're going to do this at the beginning because I'm looking at analytics now. Follow and subscribe and comment and like and hit all the buttons, do all the things. Let us know what you think. But this week, we have a hell of an episode planned because we have Backlash. We have some college football that has been announced. We have plenty to talk about. And finally, we're back. We're back, baby, to our full potential. Jackal, you were out last week scouting potential locations for the 3 Count Out Wrestling Federation. Appreciate that. Welcome back.
I did a shoey with Grayson Waller and lived to tell the tale. Hello, my name's Jekyll.
Yeah, we don't have the budget for Australia, though. I hope you're not looking down under.
No, I mean I looked at it, but thankfully he was in Topeka, Kansas, and I since I'm so autistic, I kind of pick up on people's speech patterns when I talk to him. No, I said, hello, Grayson Waller. It's nice to see you, mate. And he promptly, he threw a shoe full of beer at me, and then I guess I started drinking it afterwards. So does that still count, you think?
Maybe.
Count it. That's fine.
Yeah. I guess we'll take it.
Yeah, then it does count then. My findings, there's literally nothing in Australia. It's just deserts and people with mullets and alcoholics. There's nothing there.
You sure you just weren't in Arizona?
Oh, so Texas.
No, that too.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's the other side of the napkin. Okay, the only thing in Australia is an unnamed Perth location or PLE or whatever the hell they're doing. Wait, isn't it just Crown Jewel?
Yeah, it's Crown Jewel. Yeah, they're keeping the name.
Crown Jewel Perth.
Because they have the whole Super Bowl ring gimmick now with the Crown Jewel championship rings.
Oh,
so now they're stuck with the name.
Haven't worn.
Yeah, the rings that mean nothing. You know, the ones that Cody Rhodes and Liv Morgan have won and have done nothing about. Yeah.
So it wasn't just a Saudi tourist trap since it's now traveling?
Well, no, that's the belt that stays in Saudi.
Oh, that's the belt. Oh, that's the belt.
I think it's still a Saudi tourist trap. I think they're just targeting Australian tourists to come to Saudi Arabia using wrestling as a marketing tool.
Ooh.
I'm not on the board of directors at TKO, and I don't know how good of an idea that is, but I don't get paid enough to find out.
That's not a bit. That's not a bit. I think that's actually what's happening.
Oh, geez, Louise. These guys said we got big, meaty men slapping meat. Yeah, we want big, meaty money in our meaty bank accounts.
Hey, listen. After Backlash, let it be known. Let it be known that I, Era V1, am a huge fan of big, meaty men slapping meat. Because I realized that
that was the first match.
I realized that out of every single debut, every single person that's just popped out of nowhere, every person that I'm excited for, it's a big, meaty man. Because Jeff Cobb finally showed up in the WWE, although he is part of the bloodline, and I have a problem with that. He's Filipino and Hawaiian and not related to The Rock in any way, shape, or form. It seems like the only criteria to join Solo Sikoa's bloodline is, I guess, to just be a Pacific Islander, maybe? I like Roman Reigns as one where you have to, be blood related,
hence bloodline.
Yeah, but hey, we got Jeff Cobb, Jeff Cobb is great. Jacko, I know you're not are you familiar are you familiar with Jeff Cobb? Because he's like New Japan. He's been on AEW a little bit.
I know of Jeff Probst of Survivor fame, the host. I know
not related in any way, shape, or form.
I know Corn on the Cobb.
So
great summer treat, but unfortunately, combining the two, I am lacking that info.
So Yeah, I just want people to put respect on his name because I saw people think that he was fucking Zilla Fatu when he debuted, which that
Rude.
just might be racist, but
Probably a little bit.
Jeff Cobb is he's from New Japan. I think that's where he was most previously.
Where's
He's
he
a lot of
from,
New
though?
Japan, Ring of Honor, and Lucha Underground.
Yes, Lucha Underground. That's where I met Jeff Cobb as Matanza Cueto. He was a fucking killer. He wore a black jumpsuit and a black mask, and he looked like a fucking demon, and he was a beast. And then when the difference between Jeff Cobb and Lucha Underground and Jeff Cobb just in the indie scene is you realize that he's this big beefy man that can move. He's like I mean I think I tagged you in it. He had a match against Bronson Reed, and it was both of these big men doing fucking moonsaults on each other. Like that's the kind of shit that we're gonna get out of Jeff Cobb. I'm so fucking excited. He's a huge tag team guy, which I mean WWE's. I mean, look at SmackDown's tag division right now. Like I don't know if they're gonna put him into a tag team. I know that he's gonna be in the Bloodline, so maybe he's gonna be with Jacob for a little bit. Maybe he's gonna be with Solo for a little bit. But I feel like Jeff is really a guy that can have his own run, and as somebody who has always had like the television championship runs, you know, he's always had like he's always had the not like the second place, but like he's not usually the one that's in the spotlight. Usually he's with the person that's in the spotlight, and it's like, dog, get him in WWE, put him in a main event. I want every big man called up. I want Bronson Reed. I want Obafemi. Get Big E out of retirement. Please, can we actually get the big meaty men slapping meat invitational? Because now you have just tons of big meaty men ready to slap meat.
So he's a big old meatball, the big old bride's meatball, but never the bride type of guy.
Well, and here's the other thing is he's very strong, very athletic, but like seeing him next to Solo and Jacob Fatu, he's short.
He's got a rhino thing going on.
Yeah, he's got that Taz build, the short suplex guy. He's former Olympian, I think, right?
Yeah, he represented Guam.
Hey, shout out Dream,
friend of
shout
the
out
program,
Dream. Dream from the Mindful Mistreatment podcast.
Hey, Jeff Cobb, next time debut earlier so the person that is from Guam can talk about it.
Yeah, really. Come on, man.
Yeah, great. Now instead my white ass is back to talk about it. Great. Yippee skippy. But my goodness, I would unfortunately canceled my Cox subscription, but I was able to still see highlights from this match. What a car crash for him to debut into. My God.
Yeah, apparently a literal car crash for Drew McIntyre.
Jacob, Drew, Damian, and LA Knight. That is a solid opener right there. And yeah, just like Era said, I think the back of Drew McIntyre's skull probably has a humongous crack running down the center of it because, oh boy, he smacked the concrete. He smacked that hard.
Yeah, he missed that fucking table.
Rewatching it, like maybe it's just the angle they're at. I don't really. His head hit the floor.
I mean, his head missed the table.
It missed the table, it missed the floor, it missed everything safe, and now Drew's seeing triple Damian and four times Jeff Cobb.
I'm just saying, like when I watch it, it looks fine. But hey, what do I know?
As someone who didn't get to watch the entire thing, was that the last we saw of Drew?
Yeah, that's the last we saw of Drew and Damian.
Yeah.
Oh, they took each other out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like that the feud still has the legs to go. Now it's a rubber, where you know Damian still technically screwed Drew because he took him out.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to see it go to like a Blood Money or Money in the Bank, wherever they would do it next. I don't know if it makes it to SummerSlam, if I'm being honest with you, but Sure, I'm down to try. I'm cautiously optimistic now. How about that?
Oh, that's good.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
was-
I'm glad to
I
get
was-
your approval.
I've been ready for Drew and Damian to be done since WrestleMania. Like, they were great, but like they're beating each other's ass and they're trying to kill each other. And it's like, man, you already tried to do this during WrestleMania. You already killed each other during WrestleMania. You're gonna kill each other again. You're gonna kill each other during another match. And it's like there's a point where you just can't escalate anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's, especially if this Drew injury is a work, how do you escalate from that? Because you're now, did his head hit? Did his head miss? Everyone else is saying his head hit, but some people are saying it missed.
I do see what you mean, how the feud is essentially all killer and no filler.
Yeah.
Like they just cut straight to the end of what they did last year with like Drew and Punk, where they're trying to kill each other immediately instead of, the gradual build up, the boil to get to that point. But if we're being honest with ourselves, what's next? Like if Drew is actually hurt, I could see both LA Knight and Damian Priest being entrants in the Money in the Bank match this year. As far as if they're going to win or not, I don't know about that just yet. So
Yeah.
I like this match. Tremendous opener. My expectations for it were in the gutter, and I think it set the bar pretty good for a pay-per-view I did not expect much from to begin with.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is that because Drew and Damian, took each other out, you had that opportunity where Jacob was able to just start fucking laying in the LA Knight at one point, and it's like, damn, all right, dude's a killer, So like everybody still looked strong who needed to look strong. LA Knight, people love him no matter what, so it's all right if he loses. But the second match where there apparently may have been another injury.
Oh no.
For the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria defeating Becky Hogan, meaning that this entire thing has been absolutely useless. And now Lyra Valkyria may have a broken nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That from what I've heard through the grapevine.
This went longer than the four-way, by the way.
Yeah, this sounds like this was Lyra Valkyria's best match of all time.
Lyra looked amazing.
Yeah.
It definitely
Lyra
wasn't
looked
her best match, but it was a good match.
Lyra looked like prime Bryan Danielson. She looked amazing in this match. It was great. I don't understand what the fuck all of this was for. What? Why? Why did any of this happen? Why is Becky here? Why? If she's not going to win, if she's gonna just win the tag titles and then lose and then turn on Lyra and then lose, and what are we doing?
Through Jackal's investigative journalism and my cross country travels, and of course this is also being said after the women's wrestling aficionado is no longer on the podcast. Allegedly, the PLE schedule over the next couple of weeks from now until the beginning of July is going to be very, 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 very tight, as in a Saturday night's main event, Money in the Bank, as well. Allegedly, I think it's unconfirmed at the moment. I hear they're going to be trying to bring back Evolution in Atlanta, the second ever Evolution pay-per-view. And that one is the one where it is only women on the card.
They did
That's
that
why
after
Becky
releasing
Lynch
all
is
those
here.
women.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why
Looks
Becky
good.
Lynch is here, and then there's gonna be Lyra Becky 2 at Evolution, and Becky's gonna win. Yeah.
I just figured they were going to use Becky as a feud with Bayley when Bayley comes back too.
That is true. I did hear a lot of people were expecting Bayley to run down and make the save.
She keeps on, like, instead of talking about Lyra, she just keeps on talking shit about Bayley.
Oh, that's
like her whole promo on Monday was her talking shit about Bayley.
I see that as such a WWE way to legitimize the title in their eyes. It's, instead of making a star, like instead of having the title make a star. We need a star to make the title instead.
Yeah.
So instead of elevating Lyra, we're just going to get Bailey and Becky to feud over it. So therefore, that means the fans have to care about it now, since it's two established people.
Yeah,
Right.
although I will say, though, Lyra, over the past time with this title, like over these past few weeks, she really has, like, stepped up. I think Lyra
Absolutely.
has really,
Well, that's
like,
because
that's
she's
the one
actually
good
fucking
thing
good.
that's come out of this. Yeah, that's the one good thing that's come out of this, is that Lyra still has the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, which means we still get more Lyra Valkyria, and we can all be thankful for that.
That's
let's
what's been pissing me off, is that she's good. She's
Yeah.
really good. And then they just go, wow, we have a belt. Well, let's just not put it on TV for 3-4
Yep.
weeks.
Right. No, that's
I still care about it afterwards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's just start defending it a little bit more, please. You know, I understand maybe Becky Lynch couldn't, maybe she couldn't work every week. I don't know. I have no idea. But can we please get title defenses back? Because like the other week when they had the first World Heavyweight Championship title defense on Raw in 7 years or whatever the fuck, and it ended in a disqualification.
Ooh.
Like that. We can't.
Yep.
We don't get that. Okay, so we don't get that title, and we don't get the Intercontinental titles. So what titles do we get defended weekly? Nothing. It's yeah. So please, especially Lyra, I feel like she's someone that could just have fucking open challenges every week, and like nobody gives a shit who she goes up against. She's just gonna have a great match. And that match, like I said, was longer than the Fatal 4-Way. It kind of felt like Becky was the one dragging it down. I bring up the times because this next match was the shortest on the card, which I was surprised about, because this was one of the matches that I was the most excited for the men's WWE Intercontinental Championship. Your reigning, defending, greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Dirty Dominic
Chicken tender master
Mysterio
himself.
Exactly, going up against Penta, defeating Penta in less than 10 minutes. Now, I mean, there was a lot of fuckery. There was a lot of Judgment Day. There was a little bit of El Grande Americano action. There was a lot going on here, but I don't know, man. I feel like that's definitely one that WWE knows that they could let breathe, and so they were just like, yeah, no, fuck you. And it's 9 minutes because they know that people are gonna pay to see it again. Like that's the instance of WWE looking for money. You know what I mean?
So the way that I saw this one, at least from my perspective, is that it set out what it needed to do. Mm-hmm. And that was to get Penta away from the IC title. Because now I feel like since El Grande Americano, one of the greatest luchadors of our time, now that he's finally put a fork in the LWO, I feel like Grande Americano, Penta, that sounds like a spicy little feud to carry us through the summer, and therein lies the IC title staying with Dirty Dom, kind of in that Finn Balor, maybe like AJ Styles sort of realm on the other side of the fence. Because I think tonight, we are recording this before Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I think tonight, weren't there rumblings about maybe Finn Balor breaking out of Judgment Day and forming his own faction?
There's been rumblings of that every week.
I'm just saying, a little turf war.
I think you might be on to something, because let's not forget that in the beginning of June, we have Worlds Collide, because WWE bought AAA, which is the Lucha company where Penta and Rey Fenix and all of these amazing other luchadors came from. And legitimately, I think we're in for a summer of fucking luchador madness, because these are all people that are, I think, now under WWE contracts, or the only one that I don't know about there's only one person that I look at on the AAA roster right now that I'm like, I don't know if he's going to come through to WWE. And that's Alberto Del Rio.
The woman beater. Yeah.
He's currently the, hold on, let me get this name correct. The AAA World Mega Champion. So that is their equivalent of the Undisputed Championship. I saw people talking about probably going on to El Hijo del Vikingo, who's been featured on 205 Live. He's been on AEW. He's been on Ring of Honor. He was also at the press conference on WrestleMania weekend. So that's a pretty good indicator of who Triple H likes. So I wouldn't be surprised if that title changes hands. I don't think we'll see Alberto Del Rio in WWE, but I do think we're going to see a lot of luchador shenanigans, and I think I think their plan with Penta is to probably slap them with Rey Fenix as quick as possible, so that way we can get the Lucha Brothers in that action again. That's what
WWE has a history of ruining cruiserweight stuff. It makes me wonder if they're gonna let AAA do its thing and then just maybe create a show for them, like another show. I mean, put on bigger pay-per-views for them. I don't know. It just, if they get their hands fully into the luchador setting, it makes me real worried for the future of pretty much everybody involved.
Yeah, currently the rumor, according to what I saw from Fightful, I think it was either Fightful or PW Insider, one of those. But the rumor was that they were going to possibly change it to NXT Mexico, but that they weren't going to change any of the staff. So they were going to leave it operating as like AAA, but essentially just put WWE branding over it. Which I think would probably be the smartest move, because AAA is extremely entertaining right now.
Yes.
And it's kind of, there's people in AAA that are in this weird spot with TNA as well, where it's like, it's like WWE, they would be stars in WWE, but they just don't want to pay them, so they're going to keep them under another company's banner, like Nick Nemeth in TNA, like Dolph Ziggler would never get pushed, but when he's Nick Nemeth in TNA, all of a sudden they want him because they don't have to pay him. And then, when El Hijo del Vikingo, he was on 205 Live, they didn't want to pay him at all. But now that he's in somebody else's company, it's like, oh yeah, make him the champion, send him over, fuck yeah, we'll put him on a pay-per-view.
Well, that, and the one good thing about AAA is you can do something there you don't have to do that you have to do in WWE, you don't have to do there, and that's cut promos.
That's true.
Or you can cut it in your native ass language where you don't have to fight a speech barrier, which is probably a bit of a stress relief.
It's true. Or you can just say you're a demon and not talk at all. There's been several people in AAA that have done that.
Who would do such a silly thing like that, though? That seems so outlandish that it doesn't even seem possible like anyone would even do that. Right, guys?
Yeah, they're definitely.
Anyways, about the next
that did that. Well, speaking of demons, Pat McAfee encountered a demon in this next match.
Jesus Christ! God.
Hey, Dominic and Penta went 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Gunther and Pat McAfee went 14 minutes flat.
Can I open this up real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Why was this better than Gunther J at WrestleMania? Why was this more entertaining than the World Heavyweight Championship match at fucking WrestleMania?
Listen, I wanted this match to be 30 seconds. I'm glad the only reason that this match is 14 minutes long was because Gunther wouldn't let it end. Like, let that set in, that he's like, no. I'm just gonna keep beating your ass.
It's so smart.
Michael Cole is fucking stooging him off, holding his leg down. Gunther kicks out at one, doesn't even notice. Like, dude's like fucking Terminator in there. And I don't know if you saw Pat after the match. He was sharing pictures on Twitter. His chest was all beat fucking red. Hey, he did great. He honestly, every time Pat McAfee goes in that ring, he finds a way to do shit that people don't expect him to do. And yeah, he fucked up jumping over the rope at one point, but he's a fucking commentator. Like,
Oh yeah. His spot with the moonsault where he lands on his feet and then gets into a German and then does the backflip where he lands on his feet again.
yeah.
Oh my God, that
wild.
knocked me out of my seat, dog.
Especially like I'm not a Michael Cole hater. I just don't like when any commentators get involved in matches. I don't know. I just don't like it. But that entire match was perfect, and Michael Cole getting involved made perfect sense.
Yes, it worked.
Yeah, and I like that at the end of it, you know, Gunther was this fucking killer during the match, and then at the end he showed he still had a little bit of respect for Pat standing up. So it's like we still get to see a little bit more of a human side from Gunther. But you know, at the same time, you know that he's still gonna fucking kill you. So I'm not gonna mess with him. You're not gonna find me eating around Gunther anytime soon.
No, God no. It was a character development match because we got to see a different sadistic side to Gunther, a different sadistic side. We knew the sadistic side was in there. It's just now you got to see a new one. And you got to see Pat legitimize himself a little bit more with the fans by staying in there and getting his ass beat. And ultimately, I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark, is that he's probably going to get his ass beat sometime, maybe middle to late August. Oh, I don't know, maybe after SummerSlam, so he can be on College Game Day again. And again, when it does happen, it'll make sense because of this one. Maybe he'll do some fuck shit to Gunther again and get involved in like Gunther's SummerSlam match, and that's how he gets written off of TV. When the silly stuff doesn't make sense, I don't like it. But when the silly stuff actually works, it is so much fun, in my opinion. I'll come back to that statement about something else later in the night. But my God, this was a freaking barn burner. As much as nobody expected it to be, the expectations for this one were in the gutter. I'm curious to see what else is going to happen in about an hour. And who knows where it's going to take Gunther throughout the course of the summer. I hope it's not a big, old, muscular, bald Jewish man, but we'll see.
Yeah, because I don't think.
And did you guys talk about that last week? How it's ultimately going to lead to a match between Gunther and Goldberg?
No, we don't. I don't know what to say his name.
I don't think we need to talk about that.
I don't want to jinx anything. So anyway, the main event. Main event.
You ever mention that
talk
name again? I'm gonna kick you in the crotch.
You want to talk about barn burners? Main event, a 30-minute barn burner of 5 moves of doom back and forth, but a beautiful match. John Cena defeating Randy Orton. I think we all saw that coming. And now, somehow, I think finding himself in a match against R-Truth for the WWE Championship at Saturday night's main event.
And
all right, hold on. Before you decide to go off on this,
I'm not gonna. I can't even go off on this, Mike. I'm just confused.
He ain't talking to you.
How long has R-Truth been doing this gimmick, huh? How long? Tell me.
Years and years and years and years and years.
Well, what gimmick?
The gimmick where he's a John Cena fan. John Cena.
It's not a gimmick, Mike.
Growing up,
it's a way of life.
I'm just saying.
Like
Saturday, we know for a fact Saturday night main event matches don't mean a fucking thing, which means they should be fun. And I'm sorry, R-Truth doing a comeback using John Cena's moves against John Cena is going to make people fucking laugh in their seats, which is exactly what they want.
It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun to watch.
So again, You're complaining about this. This match is not for you.
I know.
This is for people that want to laugh and have a good time, which is
Exactly, you
exactly what our
sound like
truth
you're
makes
in
people
pain.
do.
Oh, because I kind of am. Oh, like I'm passing a kidney stone. Jesus Christ. Oh, I know you're right. I know you're right. I'm just being a big old grumpy Gus, but I think my gripes are more so coming from a place of let me pose a question to both of you gentlemen first.
Mm-hmm.
Which heel turn has felt more under-delivered as of this moment? The New Day turning on Big E to turn heel, or the 20-year eternal face turning heel, and this is the outcome we get out of it? Which one do you think has fell more flat in your opinion?
Actually,
The New
to be
Day.
honest, they both sucked ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've both been pretty much fucking terrible.
Because I think they sort of just did it for the viral moment of getting Cena to be a bad guy, and then thinking of anything else past that point has been, so now what? Dwayne doesn't want to show up to work. Now what do we do?
Well, and that's why I think we saw what we saw from Cena at the end of the match and before R-Truth came out for the press conference. I think that's why we saw that side of Cena. I wouldn't be surprised if they end him with a face again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
he has to come back at some point. Everybody knows that's. Of course he's coming. You know, of course.
Especially how that match ended with all of that character work. Not what 2 months after you officially turned for the first time. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to like 3 different sentences.
WWE has a show scheduled in Boston in December of 2025.
Indeed,
John Cena's going to turn before he leaves. I can guarantee he's probably going to be a heel up until the moment that he retires, and then he says, "Hey guys, the heel turn was fun. Thank you. I'm gonna go do my stuff now." I think it's unfortunate that John's heel turn was caused by him selling his soul to The Rock, and in reality, they had no idea what to do with that. But at the same time, that's not unprecedented for WWE.
No,
not
necessarily.
Let's not forget when they had fucking Eric Rowan carry around a cage for how many months, years. And it was a stuffed spider, like a Halloween decoration
from Spirit Halloween.
Let's not forget the half-baked idea of famously the gobbledygooker. There's plenty.
We're going that far back.
There's plenty of ideas that since the beginning of time, WWE has had ideas that are half-baked, where they want to do something for the moment, and then they don't really plan where it's going to go. I think that might have been what happened with John Cena. I think with John Cena, they were so concerned with getting him to WrestleMania, and that's great. That they wanted to have that story and that moment going up to WrestleMania. But right now, it's like, what do we do now? And I hope that they use this match with R-Truth to, yes, be entertaining, but also somehow, send John Cena off on another story. Where I don't know I don't know how they do that, but I mean, he's involved with The Miz, he's involved with the Judgment Day. Damian Priest might need someone to fight now, so maybe we can get something moving.
That was kind of my hope for it, is that they're going to use R-Truth to either solidify him as, hey, I'm the fuck you guy, and he just beats the dog piss out of R-Truth. R-Truth does the gimmicky, uses Cena's moves to come back against Cena, which would get a nice cheap pop. And then we get, Cena just making him pass out with the STF or something like that. Or we get another crack in the armor of bad guy Cena, and we see him show a bit of remorse towards a guy that is nothing but, entertainment in R-Truth. Either way, I'll take it either way. Because, I mean, if they need to backpedal out of him being a bad guy, fucking do it. I'd rather it be away and have him be a good guy and it makes sense than have him be a bad guy and just have the same...
I raised your kids. I'm gonna
the
ruin
same speech
wrestling.
over and over and over and over.
Honestly, I kind of want R-Truth to beat John Cena. I kind of want it to happen because, like,
so we can save wrestling. I get it.
Right. John Cena wants to go out there and he wants to ruin wrestling, and R-Truth is the savior that everybody loves. I mean, he saved storylines before that no one's given a shit about, right? Like, when he was inserted in the Judgment Day, it gave it a second life. It arguably made the Judgment Day segments watchable. You know, it gave you something that you knew was going to be entertaining, something that you knew you wanted to tune into. If R-Truth beats John Cena for the WWE World Championship and we get R-Truth going on a WWE World Championship run, I mean, think of the opportunities. Oh
Boy, never have, and I guess I'll start now.
Think of what he did with the 24/7 championship. I mean, obviously we can. The immediate thing is that he starts confusing the WWE championship for the 24/7 championship and starts defending it anytime, anywhere.
Oh my God, the possibilities are endless.
And then,
we're going to see a WWE championship match inside of a McDonald's ball pit.
And then when he's defending it anytime, anywhere, we see it defended on SmackDown for the first time in 7 years. It's all coming back.
Oh my God, he's figured it out. Jesus Christ, it's Jason
cracked the code. We need R-Truth to win.
Hashtag we want truth.
We want truth.
Want truth. We want truth. I think to put a bookend onto all of it, because we're spending more time talking about R-Truth instead of Randy Orton putting on an absolute clinic in his hometown.
We knew how this match was going to go.
Oh, of course. I think I'm just more upset that the backpedaling is happening so soon afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if it was after, like, SummerSlam, like, we crossed the halfway point and then the backpedaling started happening, I'd be more for it. Just now, it's kind of disappointing. But, like you said, also not that surprising if you really sit down and think about it. However... especially what?
No, I was gonna say you can thank Dwayne Claus over there. For just going, oh yeah, you know, I'm just not gonna show up. Cool.
You know,
fuck you, bud. Thank you for wasting a whole storyline.
You know, Jackal, you should sue the WWE for your pain and suffering. About $100 million in an anonymous claim.
Oh, we can say there was collusion to make John Cena hated.
Yeah, and discrimination against Jackal's big forehead.
Hey, whoa, it's not that big. It's not that big, is it, guys?
I
mean, I can see it from my house.
Oh, pretty God. I saw him. The fact, dude, I have a big head and my hats don't even fit you. Wild. That's never happened to me before. Yeah, so like, I think I found out how the podcast needs to make money. We just need to start, I guess, suing the NFL, right?
Naturally.
As one does. Why did someone sue the National Football League, pray tell?
For discrimination and collusion, causing Shedeur Sanders to not be drafted as high as he should have been.
Oh, AKA,
somebody made way too big of a bet.
I guarantee you that dude couldn't even spell collusion before he lost all that money.
I guarantee you he probably couldn't even spell Shedeur right.
Well, I mean, he may have been able to spell Shedeur right, because here's what I don't understand about it. I didn't even know you could do this. He filed the lawsuit anonymously. It was filed by somebody known as John Doe, who said he's a big fan of Shedeur Sanders from his time playing college football at Colorado. So it's a Shedeur fan.
Oh my God.
That
it's probably his dad.
It's
probably Deion Sanders. Oh my God. I did not know it was anonymous.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't like the fact that you might be right.
Oh my God. Wait, where was
because where does
Deion Sanders live? Does he live in Atlanta?
He did play for the Falcons.
Oh my
he did play for the Falcons. Because no average person is going to sue the NFL for that money and remain Miss, dude. That 100% sounds like it is someone with pull, and that does sound like his dad, who very much expected him to be a fucking first-round draft pick. Allegedly, it's all alleged. We don't know. It's an anonymous.
Well, it's not an alleged lawsuit. The lawsuit's real.
Oh, the lawsuit's very real.
Fucking dope. But
just saying, there's a non-zero chance that this lawsuit is because of Deion Sanders.
I think you're very right. I can't find anything to back that up, but
and the more I think about it, the more I wouldn't be surprised because yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there wasn't collusion. It was the fact that he did terrible in fucking interviews, and he had a whole one good season, not multiple.
No. 2 years ago, his season with Colorado was poo-poo caca as they went 500 on the season, because that's not good since their offensive line didn't feel like doing much of nothing. Ultimately, did make him drop that far, and I don't know if you saw it. The representative from the New York Giants or the Shedeur Sanders camp has come out and said that their sit-down interview with Shedeur in the draft process went so poorly, so negatively, that it will never, ever be released to the public.
Yep.
That is insane.
I don't know how bad you have to fuck up for the team's social media and your people to say, this is never gonna fucking see the light of day ever again. I swear to God.
And that's why he wasn't a first round draft pick. Just because fucking Mel Kiper says that somebody's good, it doesn't mean that they are. All right, I know when you get the ESPN notification, you take it as gospel. I know that's how the internet works, but that doesn't mean it's true. You can be the best fucking football player out there, but if you can't talk, if you have the fucking personality of a fucking wet paper bag, no one's gonna want you these days. That's just not how the game works anymore.
Nope, it really don't. You know what? For the sake of this podcast, I'm gonna start working on my Mad Mel Kiper impersonation, so I could be like fellow friend of the program, Ty Schmidt, knocking that out on draft night. So I can really, when you're looking at a Shedeur Sanders, you just see pure, raw, untapped potential there. They did not retire his jersey at Colorado without a reason.
Oh, well, let me tell you, Mel Kiper, there's untapped potential there, all right. There's untapped potential, and unfortunately, it's Mr. Sanders that's not tapping it.
As he's probably going to be the third best quarterback on a team with 5 fucking quarterbacks on it.
Yeah, dude.
Can I say, I can't wait for Deion to get fired from fucking Colorado and them to be like, yeah, we're unretiring Deion and Shedeur and Travis Hunter's jersey numbers, because they were both here for 2 fucking years and dipped. And Travis Hunter was pretty good. Shouldn't have won the Heisman, but he was pretty good. And Shedeur was average at best.
And the other, Shedeur's brother is just there off in the background too. Shiloh Sanders off in the going, hey guys, I'm here too.
He has a brother?
He was undrafted. The only reason he got signed was, number one, he was undrafted. Still gets $2.6 million, but hey.
Yep.
Oh.
And the only reason he's there is because of his last fucking name. It's not because of talent.
Nope. It's sure as shit ain't because of talent. That's why he was an undrafted free agent. Nobody wanted nothing to do with him, and that's why Shedeur and Travis Hunter got all the attention at Colorado instead of him. Just saying. There is a lot going on in the world of the NFL, and unfortunately, the podcast timing is really, really, really unfortunate this week, because we miss the NFL schedule release by 2 days. The entirety of the NFL. We'll be able to talk about it next week, because the only thing set in stone at this very moment is only going to affect the fuck of the podcast, not the 2 shits. It is opening night. Philadelphia Eagles taking on your Dallas Cowboys, week 1, night 1, Thursday night football.
The way I love to start a football season is by slaughtering the Cowboys. Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I legitimately, I know anything can happen the first game, but I just feel like we're gonna roll them. It's gonna be great. I can see it now.
I mean, you should.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys seen the Dallas coach, Brian? Was it Schottenheimer? Brian Schottenheimer. Hold on, let Jackal check his.
I did see their center snapping to his mom. So I guess that's about the same level as snapping to Dak. She was doing the here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, good job, son. I love it when football players' moms fondle their nuts or whatever they were doing. Good Lord, man.
What? No, snapping the ball. Like what? There were no.
Where do you put your hands when you try to get the ball?
Long snapping.
Well, you said snapping. I didn't hear the long part, so I just fucking connected the dots. My bad.
Would you want your mom to touch your nuts? I'm so confused.
No. Hell no. I was being sarcastic, and I guess it didn't come through well.
When your coach did that to you, he wasn't supposed to, you know.
Oh no. I gotta make a call after this podcast. Brian Schottenheimer.
Bless you.
Yeah, that's a name. Big old Yinzer Mike McCarthy out of Dallas. Brian Schottenheimer in. So you got a Dak with one leg and a brand new coach. Opening fucking night, banner raising night. Of course, the Dallas fans are going to be doing nothing but sticking their chest out for the next 4 months because that's just the nature of the Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
But realistically, there is no feasible way that I see the Cowboys winning this matchup at all.
Saquon over or under 100?
Over. Easily over. Because Micah Parsons is going to be back since he was sort of on and off all last season. But if you look at their defense, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he doesn't want to fucking be there.
He doesn't. He really
He's
doesn't.
just there for the money. And I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Micah and Saquon are friends. I don't know if they're going to hit him too hard.
When you get to the point where you're just there for the money, you don't want to be a part of a team, you're probably going to shit the bed. And I think Micah's going to just be real underwhelming most of that season. So I think Philly's going to do perfectly fine.
It should be interesting at the very least, because another thing that happened over the course of the recording of the podcast, George Pickens was traded away from Pittsburgh to Dallas for essentially a third-round pick and a blowjob. Not much for George Pickens. So Dak now has a wide receiver 2 that is somewhat capable. However, I don't think he's ready for his wide receiver 2 to start fist fighting someone halfway down the field when he's trying to get the ball to him.
They're just swinging for the hell of it, or?
Well, it's George Pickens. I mean, he could be swinging just because he kind of stepped on his toes, or maybe he looked at him the wrong way. He started swinging on him.
Yeah, I will say your DBs better watch out that first game because George Pickens is going to come out swinging.
Literally, too. I think. Didn't he? No, I don't think he played when Pittsburgh and Philadelphia played each other last season. I think he was time. So thankfully, he don't have any sour grapes, at least as far as I know. If we can do picks now, yeah, I'm fully on the Eagles ship here. It shouldn't be close, I don't think, even with Mike McCarthy still being there or a Dak that isn't injured. I'm still leaning towards Philadelphia. I mean, of course, there like you said, anything could always happen. And when they had Cooper Rush, when they came to Philly last time, they did hang with you for a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half. Yeah,
my butthole was tight for a little bit.
For a second, and then you guys ran away with it 47-9, I think. Well, that was the final score.
Yeah. But they had us in the first
First 10 minutes.
Literally, like, first 5 minutes, yeah.
It really wasn't that much. Philly definitely, they aren't going to rebuild 100%. They reloaded through the draft. Now, kind of looking at everything, especially now that rookie minicamp is now all said and done. Still going to be a force in the NFC East. I do think it is a 2-team race between Philly and the Commies. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
and
I think the thing that I'm really going to be watching with this game, I mean, really with any Eagles game this year, but kind of that question mark is like, how is our defense going to look after these draft picks? You know, and it was a majority of the positions that we went for. It was a lot of defensive guys. So you know, we lost some big players after the Super Bowl. We beefed it back up with some rookies. See if these rookies can step up and get in there. I think probably, you know, just based off the fact that we have Saquon Barkley and, you know, all-star wide receivers and a freak quarterback and freak offensive line. You know, I think we'll be fine.
All right. My goodness, I hear him stroking it right now.
Oh, sorry. I can turn the mic sensitivity down. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I'm starting to like it now. Keep going.
But no, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I know offensively we're fine, and you know we'll put points up there no matter what. But defensively, it's like, okay, are we going to be able to hit the ground running, or is it going to take a couple of games? You know, because like these guys are new and they need some time to adjust to the speed of the NFL.
Unfortunately, I think there is going to be an adjustment period no matter what, because I just think that's the nature of the NFL at this point. Like, you know, remember through the first 2 weeks last season, the Saints looked like an unstoppable fucking juggernaut, and then I don't think they won a single game the rest of the season. And
but for those 2 weeks, they had us.
They did. They really did. But speaking of the Saints, officially, I will open this up. Then I would want to hear what say, because I know the way he words things about this situation is so eloquent. Because breaking news, the car has officially parked for good, ladies and gentlemen, as Derek Carr has to medically retire, and he hangs up his cleats after, I believe, 11 seasons.
Yeah. He had a hell of a run. Almost killed a few people here and there, but a hell of a run.
There it is.
Yeah. One of those people being, I mean, you want to talk about somebody that should medically retire? Hey, Chris Olave.
Chris Olave, whose brain is now fucking pudding.
Yeah, he's basically Wes Welkered himself into not being able to write his own name or whatever. Bud, you wanna step down too? Cause oh boy, cause I mean Derek Carr had a few good seasons. I mean he's not what I would call, you know, a Hall of Fame quarterback.
No, God no.
But man, that guy, I don't know if people pissed him off or what, but when you send a wide receiver straight into the center to get absolutely lit up by 47 guys.
It seems like you have time to go.
And time again.
Ooh.
And I mean, that wasn't just a one-time thing. It happened multiple times. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's better for wide receivers in the long run if he's not around.
I do think the Saints will be healthier this season. I do, however, also think they're going to be fourth place in the NFC South, no matter what this season. So,
what was the injury that took him out? What actually caused the medical retirement?
I believe it was his hand. It was like some ligaments in his hand, I believe, and he probably, because he was going to get surgery on it before the season started, and he was going to be out regardless. It's just now he ain't coming fucking back no more.
Yeah, they're like, hey, buddy, just stay home. You just stay home.
Listen, it would be in your best interest and all of our wide receivers' best interest if you just
hang it up. It's okay. It's okay. And the Saints are still also in cap space hell as well. I believe $98 million in the hole too. So
probably can save a little bit of money.
What was the name of your offensive coordinator last season, Mr. Era? Because he's the new head coach of the Saints, your old offensive coordinator.
Fangio was defense. Kellen Moore.
Alan Moore. The next 2 seasons, if I'm him, it's a wash. Just like, hey, we're here, get some reps, get some playing time. We ain't gonna do shit. Season 3, on the other hand, however, we hit the ground running. Don't even be like, you were so far in the hole, you can't get free agents. You just lost your quarterback. None of your quarterbacks on your roster have won a single game combined between the 3. So just fuck it, start over in a couple years and go from there. But
what they should be doing is spending this time building and teaching Desmond Ritter, Spencer Ratter. There we go.
Rattler.
Whatever. Who cares?
Your point exactly.
Yeah. You know what? I think I get it.
Spend the time building him up, making him a competent quarterback. Because no offense, mild offense to Derek Carr, when you're sitting behind a quarterback like him and you don't have a great quarterback room to learn from, you're not really gonna progress any.
I know.
So I think this is the chance. Like, hey, man, you're gonna be in some real games now. Time to learn you something, instead of just sit and watch Derek Carr injure somebody and get sacked.
So we'll see what happens with the Saints, and we'll also see what happens with the Lions. And we can't spend any time talking about them because ain't shit happened so far because all the fucking news is coming out Wednesday. Thanks, NFL. I'm going to be so excited to play the Rams opening night again for fucking 2 years in a row. I know they're going to do that because the Rams are on our schedule again. God damn.
Well, sure. Luckily, we should beat them again, so who cares?
I hope. But some schedules have also been released, and it's time to give some attention to the world of college football.
Finally.
Because
we finally get to talk college football, and we don't have to listen to FGK struggle his way through. Thank God.
Oh my God. Black Flashers. Yeah, great. Awesome. You sure as shit nailed that one, kid. Way to go. We got schedules released. We got schedules to look at, being both Michigan and your we'll call them third place finishing Penn State Nittany Lions.
Hey, we're on the podium, motherfucker.
You were on the podium. You were. We were there 2 years ago.
Respectable.
Since they did get a little bit further than Michigan, I think it's only fair to start things out with them. I'll just quick rapid fire run down through the entire schedule, and then we'll go from there. So in order, you are going to be against Nevada, Florida International University, Villanova.
That's where the Pope is from.
Old Pope Bob.
Pope Bob.
Hey, Pope Bob, we got your school this week.
You guys get Oregon at home.
Oh,
that smells like your first whiteout game.
You might be right. You want to know why? I'm currently looking at Penn State football tickets for this year. The Oregon tickets already. That game is on September 27th. It's May 12th. You can get tickets for that game as low as $185.
Jesus Christ. And you're gonna be sitting with the seagulls at the top of the stadium.
For $185.
Also in the refurbished Happy Valley as well.
Hopefully. I don't think they've done that yet.
Hopefully refurbished. Then after that, you are going to be traveling to the Rose Bowl to take on UCLA, coming back to play Northwestern, then traveling to Iowa and Ohio State with, I think, a bye week in the middle. So not back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, there's a bye week.
It looks like a bye in the middle. Then you get Indiana at home, traveling to Michigan State, getting Nebraska at home, and then on the road at Rutgers to close out the season. So, realistically, we'll write these down to see how close we can get. Because
are we doing early picks?
I think if the schedule is laid out in front of me, I would be inclined to actually stake my claim on it and give you what I think Penn State could finish at this season. Because looking at your schedule's not awful. It's really not that bad.
I like this schedule. I actually really like this schedule.
You avoid Illinois, you avoid Michigan, you avoid USC, and you avoid Washington. Those are 4 big teams that aren't on your schedule.
Well,
Illinois should still be a top 25. Washington should be a resurging.
I don't know about that.
And you know what I like the most about
USC
the schedule?
was bonk last year.
That's true. As a Penn State fan, what do you like about it?
If you look at where the bye week is, it is right before Ohio. We are going to be at 100%, no matter what happens.
Very true.
And it's mid-season too. It's like the bye week. You're essentially you're getting done with a month and a half left after your bye week. So I really like where that is. I think late bye weeks are always more beneficial.
So I'm going to go ahead and go first. I think at absolute worst case scenario, everything's gone haywire. I say at worst, you get a 10-2 season with losses to both Oregon and Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I think at worst, that's what you get. At best, I would say 11-1. And you win either one of the Oregon or Ohio State game. Yeah. I don't think you run the table, but I do think at best you finish with 1 loss on your record. Everybody else is really beatable.
I definitely have to agree with the 10-2. I think that's achievable. Although I'm gonna be a petty bitch and say that we won't drop to Ohio, because fuck that noise. Although we had the habit last year of underestimating a lot of our Big Ten opponents, and we are at UCLA. Penn State does struggle on the road, so
that is cross country too.
Yeah, so I think, and Oregon right before that. Those are two. That's a tough team, and then a tough spot to play 1 week after another. So that might be a little bit of a stretch there. But I mean, even after that, I mean, you get a couple easier games after that to kind of decompress a little bit, and then you head into the bye week. So again, I think that later bye is just super beneficial. 10-2. I think if we were to go 10-1, I think the real threat on this schedule is Oregon. I mean, I know we have an Ohio State problem. I know. Listen. I'm gonna say this now because I'm not trying to clip farm it.
Tell me.
We have an Ohio State problem, and we probably will lose to them. Now in November, I'm not going to say that.
It could be a different story. Until James Franklin can show me that he can beat an Ohio State team without a broken field goal block, I am not going to give you that win. However, Ohio State is going to have what happened to them to this current past year's Michigan team. They just got gutted. They just lost a lot of players on defense and a lot of players on offense. Mm-hmm. They need to refill every single spot. And since we're both Detroit and Philadelphia talking here, we both know they have Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator. Right. This is the year that you guys can beat Ohio State at Ohio State. It is going to be this year. But until it happens, I cannot say that you will. So I'll rate you down for 10-2.
That's what I'm banking on. That's exactly what I'm banking on, is that Matt Patricia's on the other side. And for years for this entire podcast's history, for 71 episodes, we've smeared Matt Patricia's name. And now finally, we get the chance to just shit on them from the other side. And I'm so ready.
Mike, what are your final thoughts on the way too early looking at Penn State 2025 football?
I fully agreed with both of you. I mean, it seems like Oregon, even when you don't know the team, still puts out a hell of a team, and they still beat everybody by like 80 points. So, I mean, that one could be a potential loss. Same with Ohio State. Ohio State, even when they lose 14 players, they always somehow rebound.
It's weird. It's
so
really
I wouldn't
weird.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they are at least in the hunt again. So yeah, I'm thinking 10-2.
Okay, got all of that down, and finally, I get to talk about a football team of my own as we turn our heads to the Michigan football Wolverines of the 2025 calendar season. And if you want to see my thoughts about the spring game that the Michigan Wolverines have played, the reaction should already be live on the channel at the time of the podcast release. So, in order of the Michigan schedule, we have New Mexico coming to the Big House. Then Michigan travels to Oklahoma. Then we get Central Michigan at home, traveling to Nebraska, getting Wisconsin at home, traveling to USC, getting Washington at home, then traveling to Michigan State, getting Purdue at home, then traveling to Northwestern and Maryland, and then finally, to close out the season, the game, yet again, we get Ohio State back at the Big House. This is it's a very weird Michigan schedule. The only time you get two games back-to-back being the same thing is Northwestern and Maryland when Michigan is on the road back-to-back weeks. Other than that, throughout the entire course of the season, it flip-flops. Every single week. Home, away, home, away, home, away. I don't know if that's going to have anything to have an effect on anything. It is definitely curious, however.
Well, it just makes me think, like, I feel like that's probably just more stress and strain, right? Because you're constantly flipping back and forth. Like, at least, sometimes you can at least get a couple of weeks where you're, a couple of weeks in a row where you're at home. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe it works out in Michigan's favor because they get, maybe they get more home games or whatever. I don't know. But, maybe it works out for them, but who knows? It is an interesting schedule, though. Have you got? Is it like when you guys like go and have an away game or a home game against Michigan State? How does that? Because like you're all in Michigan, so like do you flip flop that, or how does that one work?
Yep, it's a home and home series. So they came to Michigan last year in a very, very low scoring fucking chippy game, and I'm assuming it's probably going to be the same this year. Because boy, oh boy, if Michigan's offense is bad, somehow, some way, Michigan State's offense is even worse, big dog. Mike, what are your thoughts on this schedule? I'm trying to piece it together in my head real quick.
Hold on. So I think I'm just going to go down the games. I think we beat New Mexico.
1.
I think we lose to Oklahoma.
1-1.
We beat Central Michigan.
2-1.
We lose to Nebraska.
2-2.
Get that corn husk.
I don't remember how Wisconsin was this last year.
Luke Fickell's first year. Okay. They were okay. Not like great, not awful.
Yeah, they were like middle.
Did Michigan get a new quarterback?
I can't answer that.
I say we lose to Wisconsin.
2-3.
We lose to USC.
2-4.
We beat Washington.
3-4.
We beat Michigan State.
4-4.
Here's where it gets tricky. We lose to Purdue.
Wow, 4-5.
We beat Northwestern.
5-5.
We lose to Maryland.
5-6.
And of course, because it's Michigan and Ohio State, we beat Ohio State.
6-6. So we maintain from last season, staying 6-6. Oh,
Somehow I got to like 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So when I was counting myself, I was like, the math ain't mathing.
Interesting. See, from what I saw at the spring game, since I've already watched it already, and by the time, like I said, by the time
Which
this
is just the
podcast is
team
out,
playing with itself.
and they also played football against each other too.
My bad.
From what I've seen, I don't know if I can attribute it to good defensive play or the quarterback just being bad again, because not a lot of passes completed again. So that is Michigan's biggest issue ever since JJ McCarthy left, is that, you know, the Make-A-Wish kid's a quarterback still, and we can't really move the ball down the field further than 2 yards at a time.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm not, at the moment, way too early, I'm not super confident with everything. However, I will say, I see, I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic here. I'm gonna say 9-3. Cautiously
Christ.
optimistic.
How is that cautiously?
Extremely bright flashing lights, neon tape, Naomi with her dumpy caution, because I could see the three losses being Oklahoma, Michigan State, Ohio State.
You think there's a
And
world
then
where you lose to Ohio?
Yeah, just if the offense doesn't do anything legitimately, because we don't have a Mason Grant, Kenneth Grant in the middle
just
this
like
year.
you think just like a low scoring slugfest? Just battle of the defenses?
From what I've seen at the spring game, the defense it's either great defensive play or shitty quarterback play, and either one scare me. So I'm gonna lock in 9-3.
Good lord.
Yeah, Mr. Air, what
Dude,
are you
I thought
thinking?
I was being nice.
right.
Um,
Okay, we're all
I
friends
think-
here still.
well, you know, it's my question, because I feel like teams like fucking like Central Michigan and like Purdue and like people like that, you know, like you'll probably be able to take those out. It's the question of like the big Big Ten
the big
names, you know,
dogs.
yeah. So I feel like 8-4.
8-4, not kind of across the board here. Okay.
Because like I want you guys to do better than you did last year, you know, and I think maybe that's what
I do too, but when you lose one of your better running backs, you don't have a quarterback at all.
Yeah.
You lose one of the core components of your offensive line. I mean, I don't see how any of that. The defense can still be amazing, and the defense did, in fact, win us games last year.
Yes.
However,
but the team spirit, Mike.
You can only do so
Jesus
much
Christ.
with that when you can't score points.
Yeah. Because the whole thing going around now with Michigan is that everything going Bryce Underwood, and how we were able to poach him from LSU and able to give him an NIL deal once. In the spring game, the fucking kid has a cannon. He can launch that fucking ball down the field. He cannot launch it into the receiver's hands, though. So I don't know if that's on him or just Michigan having shitty receivers. Like, when the reaction's out and you watch it, it leaves a lot to be desired. So
Was it
was
it consistently placed wrong is my question.
It was more overthrows than anything. Like he's putting too much mustard on it. He needs a little more ketchup. If you
Right,
sniff my
so
shorts.
it's not the receiver not getting there. It's
Well,
Gotcha.
Or
I
it could be
know-
the receiver not getting there. It could be.
I was going to say, I do know that Michigan, in the last couple of years, has had a very Penn State approach of running the fuck out of the football.
It works. It
Um,
works.
Well, the problem is you had a quarterback and a tight end and a couple wide receivers that could back it up.
Yeah.
Michigan just decided to not go for wide receivers, so
Yeah,
when plays were happening, it was because JJ had like 20 seconds to throw a fucking football.
Well, we don't have our tight end anymore, so you know we're gonna have some problems. I think Penn State's gonna go back to just like basically just running the ball again, though. I think it's just gonna be a return to form. Saquon Barkley 2.0.
Wasn't there one game where you guys didn't? Oh no, it was the last one against Notre Dame where you guys didn't have a single catch by a wide receiver until like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter or whatever.
Yeah, because Tyler Warren was he was the receiving leader.
Yeah.
He was everywhere. Legitimately. He was everywhere and did everything and passed to himself. So,
well,
why not?
We'll see what Penn State and Michigan get to end up doing throughout the course of the season, just like all of the other teams in college football as well. Real quick to wind things down on this week's episode of the Down and Out podcast. And again, if you are enjoying, make sure you hit that like button, comment down below anything you want to talk to us about. Maybe hit that subscribe, maybe ring the bell, maybe 5 stars on Spotify. Follow too. Hit all sorts of buttons, man. Just have fun with it.
Do whatever you're supposed to do.
Make sure it's still 5 stars though, motherfucker. If it's not 5 stars, Mike flogs me kinkily.
Well, you can't say it like that because then they'll know you like it.
Yeah, don't incentivize them.
Fuck, sorry.
You're supposed to say that if it's 5 stars, you get flogged kinkily.
Oh, please 5 stars. Please me 5.
Yeah.
We turn our attention to the beginning of the season, week 0. Again, I kind of explained it last year. I'll explain it once we get a little bit closer to it, since we're still, unfortunately, very far. The Ireland game. Kansas State taking on Iowa State, and that is the most notable thing in week 0. So, yeah. Week 1, we got
Iowa heard of Ireland?
No, they hear to go. Yeah, so how far is the drive? You have to fly to get there. What's a fly? That's the thing that comes into my barn, and I gotta shoot them. Oh no, we're in trouble. Looking at some of the other big week 1 games, officially week 1 starting on August 30th. First one I see, Alabama at Florida State. That one should be a fucking slaughter.
Well, are you saying Alabama's going to slaughter them?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I was going to say, remember how they started last season? They choked a bit.
Also true.
They choked the Vanderbilt.
Another big game that I see, LSU traveling to Death Valley to take on Clemson week 1, a very good opening matchup. But no, never mind. There's still some big ones here. Sunday night football, we got 2 games. The Cox taking on Virginia Tech should be a fucking barn burner. When Virginia Tech is good at football, college football is in a very, very good state. That's your good bar right there. But the true Sunday night matchup that people are going to be watching week 1 is the Catholics versus Convicts rematch, as Notre Dame is going to be traveling to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, to take on the Hurricanes week 1. That one I am very excited. However, College Game Day has one location and one location only. If they don't go here, they're fucking wrong. Texas is traveling to Columbus, Ohio to take on Ohio State week 1. That 100% is your game of the week.
Oh, yeah. God, I'm so excited to have football back on my TV.
If I remember correctly, Quinn Ewers went in the draft.
Yes, sir. He's gone.
So that means this is a Texas team being led by
Arch
Manning.
Oh my God. We get to talk about a Manning. What is this? 2011? Jeez Louise. Week 2, not as exciting because we can all tell with college football kind of front loading the schedule to get everybody excited sort of week 1. Realistically, I say College Game Day probably goes to Michigan, Oregon. That one, or not Michigan, Oregon, Michigan, Oklahoma. That one is the spiciest game on here. Or the Battle of Iowa State. That other than that though, week 2 is a little bit hard.
I could see Iowa State just for the footage alone.
The battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy is always a good one, and it's always extremely boring as well. If I remember correctly, that was the game where people made a joke and they wore T-shirts counting how many times, or no, they didn't count. They had a T-shirt on that said, "We're just here for the punts." Every time any team would punt the football, the camera would cut to them, and it's just two dudes drunk off their ass, just going wild in the front row.
At least they're having fun.
I'm for it.
Of course, man. You gotta have fun when the Iowa State football is the only thing you get a chance to watch, man. Might as well.
What else is there to do out there?
Farm.
No, that too.
Yeah.
Week 3, a little bit better with some more marquee matchups. Florida traveling to LSU, Georgia traveling to Tennessee, Texas A&M getting their rematch against Notre Dame, but this time they are at Notre Dame. If I had to pick one, it's probably going to be that Genesee, Georgia and Tennessee matchup for College Game Day. That's a good week.
Genesee.
You just gave him a little ship name right there.
Aw, Genesee is okay. None of these times have been announced as well, too, because this is still a recording.
Ooh, my favorite time, TBD.
TBD. Yep. Oh, there's a lot of TBD.
I mean, we're several months. Well, not several, but a couple months out. So they still got time. They got time to D.
Week 4, it looks like the best game of the week is probably going to be out on the West Coast. Either Washington at Washington State or Oregon State at Oregon, or Florida and Miami getting that rematch when last year all you guys called me stupid for picking Miami week 1. You're like, that jackal idiot. Why would he pick the Florida Gators? What a moron. Ended up being right, though, motherfuckers. Moving on, various games throughout the season. I'm just trying to draw it out because I know that there's still like 3 or 4 months away. We're so far trying to get myself excited. Like week 5, Alabama's traveling to Georgia. That's 100% going to be College Game Day, right? Right, guys?
That is a definite College Game Day. Absolutely.
Tennessee at Mississippi State, LSU at Ole Miss. Oh, wait. That's also the same week as Oregon and Penn State, though. Oh, that's September 27th. Oregon and Penn State, the same week as Alabama, Georgia. God damn. I think that's a week of football. That's a very good week of football. We'll avoid some of the filler. We'll kind of just cut right to the chase. Rivalry week, all still the same. Rivalry week. Ohio State, Michigan, Texas A&M, Texas, Clemson, South Carolina, Florida State, Florida, Bama, Auburn. Closes out the year, but that's all the way in November 2024. So we gotta. Oh boy, long way. Yeah. God, we're so far away from college football, fellas. Oh, yeah, jeez, Louise.
Just a couple more months to go, and a couple more months, couple more episodes. In
good news,
good news.
Michigan Panthers in the UFL are top seed.
Oh
yeah.
I watched their last game and it was. Oh, I don't know why they're the number 1 seed because it wasn't good.
Well, because they're the UFL. I mean, you show up and you're number 1.
Yeah. God, I miss. Holy shit, I miss fucking fellas. I think I need to go drink.
That's fair. I need to drink too. I've needed to drink all day. We should probably finish this episode because there's a lot of time left until we get to college football, and I want to get there a little bit quicker. And when we end these episodes, I actually go into a cryogenic sleep. So I just skip time. So I'd appreciate if I could just skip one more week in the future. I'm gonna lay down on the ground and go into the cryogenic sleep though, and then you guys can just pin me. Let me just get that. Hold on.
You good?
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you got hit by a car or anything.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Never happened.
Hey Google, can you set a reminder to unfreeze Era this time next week?
Setting reminder to unfreeze Era next year.
Wait, what?
There we go. Perfect. Okay, so if you enjoyed everything coming out of my mouth, and if you too want to get to college football quicker, you can find me over at youtube.com/JackalJoker or twitch.tv/JackalJoker.
I guess you could find me at twitch.tv/EraV1 or youtube.com/EraV1music or next week when I get lifted out of this cryogenic sleep, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. And if you
Hopefully
like
next
me,
week.
you have to just keep on listening to this over and over again. If you don't like me, you can find me lurking around the Detroit Lions parking lot.
So when's this ice tube thing gonna do its job, you think?
Probably anytime soon.
Oh.
I turned it up too high.
What, Mike? You did that?
Oops.
That dial's supposed to be attached to that board, right? Why is it in your hand?
I'm gonna say it's optional. You know what? You haven't gotten a pin in a minute. You wanna go ahead?
Yeah, I got turned into a fucking human pin cushion last week. Apparently, I didn't know Dream was gonna shank me for some reason. Jeez, yeah, you know what?
Well, you know.
There we go. I got that. I mean, I think I'm pinning him. I'm just sitting on top. Oh, it's really cold. Oh, Mike, it's okay.
I'll do a quick count. Yeah,
it's really cold.
2, 3. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Get out of there.
Oh my god. Why are my nipples so hard?
Because you're excited about football.
Oh, that makes sense too. Oh boy.
All right, we should probably get out of here, and he can do his cryo thingy.
I would walk out the room, but my nipples would leave before I do.